Hey, Apple Biters and Appletinis, this is Les, aka Sister Slayer, here at the anime, Castlepoint Anime. And I am standing here with Miss Lizbeth R. Jimenez, and she is the author of Sacred. And so I want to know why or how this came about.
Well, I've always written stories. My first story I wrote when I was around 4 or 5 years old. And according to my mother, I've been drawing since I was 18 months old. Her words, not mine, but they all claim that I drew on money, on bills. They had to hide everything from me. So writing and drawing has always been like a really big part of just who I am as a person. And so I grew up with like a lot of Nickelodeon cartoons, with Looney Tunes and all that good stuff. But the one thing about American cartoons that I saw, even Batman, was that they never seemed to grow up, change their clothing. Their life never seemed to be affected by anything. A villain would come in and it didn't really seem to really affect their world as substantially as you would think it would affect like real life. So one day when I was absent from school, I saw my first episode of Dragon Ball Z, which is an anime a lot of you, I'm sure, from the 90s especially, hey 90s kids, grew up watching Dragon Ball Z. And the very first episode I saw, the main character passed away in battle. And he woke up in the afterlife, and it completely changed what I realized cartoons could be. I did not know that you can play around with ideas of the afterlife or God or fighting or possibly losing a parent, and there was just so many concepts and so many things being talked about in Dragon Ball Z that it just completely blew my mind. And from then on, I knew that I could bring those elements into my own work. And little by little, I created this story, Sacred, and it's all because of Dragon Ball Z, honestly. It really is.
Just give me a little concept about what the storyline is about.
Absolutely, thank you so much. I'm sorry. My story is about a cryptic dream, a forbidden summoning, and the day that will change their lives forever. My story takes place in a sanctuary built for people who have been touched by the supernatural, whether they were born with powers they can't quite control, or they witness something so otherworldly they just cannot live a normal life among us anymore. When they come to the sanctuary, hoping to find answers and guidance just to make sense out of what they've experienced. But throughout the story, you meet folks from all different walks of life and different cultures, and through them, you learn what they've experienced, what brought them to the sanctuary, and you begin to realize that maybe all the legends and all the folklore and all that good stuff, maybe they weren't just stories that had been passed down. Maybe there was some truth behind that. There's a lot of comedy to the series as well, but if you enjoy like the darker side of mythology and folklore and all that, you might have a really good time like reading the story. At least I think you will. Because I have people from all different walks of life, from all different cultures in my story. So you'll see characters who have like dreadlocks. You'll see characters that have hijab. You'll see a lot of different people represented in a way that I hope people will really appreciate. It's not a social justice warrior type of representation. It's just, we're just all people with extraordinary experiences, and we all just happen to end up in the sanctuary. How you do it? Like, that's literally what it is, you know?
I love that concept. Tell me some of the storylines that you use and everything. Did you come up with it from something that you learned? What did you take mythology that is already out there? Did you create your own mythology for this book series?
It's a mixture of a lot of things. I think a lot of my viewers on YouTube know that when I was a little kid, my house was literally across the street from a cemetery. My family is from Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. So for those of you who might know a little bit about their culture, there's a lot of spiritual healers out there, and a lot of my family comes from that background. So I've grown up seeing the wildest things. I've heard the craziest stories. My own experiences all combined. It's just inevitable that I was going to write something like this. So it's really cool when you see people reading, they're like, dude, but that's in my culture. I'm like, it's in my culture too, okay? Like, I grew up with that. My interest in what I was experiencing in my home, I wanted to learn about other cultures and other people's experiences, and I began to realize, what if it's just like how flowers look different in every culture, languages are different in every culture, animals look different in every continent, but we all have birds, you know what I mean? Like, we all have these bears and stuff, so I'm like, there has to be some kind of truth behind it. And it snowballed into this. A search for answers became the story Sacred, literally.
Where can we find you online? And I know you said that you have people that you have a YouTube following, so tell us a little bit of where we can find you on social media.
Okay, so I'm on too many places, so forgive me. So on Instagram, I am Sacred the Manga. I don't know if you'll put it on the screen, so here it is. Ta-da! You know, so it's sacred_the_manga, and there you'll find like updates on the next volume, convention I'm going to, my artwork, and all that good stuff. On YouTube, okay. On YouTube, I am My Mangaka Life. I have a lot of like tutorials and like artist vlogs there, showing you how to get published, how to copyright, how to draw. And then I have like story time videos about all the weird crap that happens to me on the road promoting, because girl, things are crazy. Doing this for a living, the experiences are out of control, but they're fun to tell. So they're weird to experience, but a blast to tell. So those are like my two main places. I don't know if maybe you'll put like a little list of where else they can find me on like Twitter and all that good stuff, but those are like my two main places that if you message me, I'm gonna respond like instantaneously, pretty much.